Hello and welcome to the sport programs on SABC, coming to you live from the national capital, Juba. My name is Majur Cholko. This week on our editions of the sport program on SABC, joining me right here in the studio is none other than Agostino Maduot Parek, the president of South Sudan's Football Associations. Mr. Agostino Maduot, allow me to say it, I'm profoundly honored and exceedingly humble to have you in the sport program on SABC. You're welcome.
Thank you for SSBC inviting me to this house, and also thank you, Maju, for intending to come and just interview me.
Thank you so much. To begin with, you are the president of South Sudan's Football Associations in the Republic of South Sudan. First, greet the sport lovers and the sport family, the footballers in the country, in your own terms as the sport president of South Sudan Football Association.
Thank you. First of all, I would like to take this opportunity. It's my first time to come to this studio of SSBC since I was elected, and I would like to take this opportunity to greet all the people of South Sudan and all the football lovers and all the sports, and especially I want to send my thanks to the Football General Assembly, who have elected me to be the president of South Sudan Football Association. Is a special thanks, and I wish I will not let them down, and I will continue in pursuing of my manifesto in order to realize what I told them, and that's building a trust with the leader for that matter.
Thank you so much. And the viewers of the sport programs on SABC, thank you so much for joining us. This week on our edition of the sport program on SABC, we'll be looking at the plans and activities of South Sudan Football Associations in the Republic of South Sudan, starting within Juba and outside of Juba, which are the state of South Sudan. Back to my guest right here in the studio. You said this is your first time to be in the studio, and as the new president of South Sudan Football Association, when did you assume your office?
Yes, I was elected in 22 July 2021, and of course that was a decisive victory, and the General Assembly of South Sudan Football Association make their words to elected me to the office, and of course during preparatory administrative stage I took office on 27th July, 5 days after my election, and of course the election was having international observers, the FIFA and the CAF, as well as all the contestants, those who are contesting me. They accept the election to be fair and fair elections, and they congratulate me for that matter. And this makes it a very credible election for South Sudan Football Association leadership, and as well is a credit to those who are contesting with me, and as well to the General Assembly and all the football lovers in the country.
Thank you so much, and personally, let me say congratulations for winning the trust of the sports family in South Sudan to be the president. And what can you tell the sport viewers and the sport lovers, the footballers in the country, about your work, about your backgrounds in the sport activities, like before you became the president? Who were you?
Well, of course, it's very important because I was not, during my campaign, I was not that much using the media, and probably majority of people and those of football lovers were not knowing my background. Me, myself, yeah, since I was young, I'm a sportsman. I used to play football at the school level. And not only football, I used to play football, I used to play basketball, I used to play volleyball, I used to play handball. So in all my nature and what my fun and the hobby is, I'm I'm a sportsman for that matter. And of course, being a footballer or a basketballer, my sport was interrupted because of revolutions. I joined the revolution in early 1984, and then of course the time became a time not for a fun of getting into your fun, something that you like to play, but it was like to play with guns, and so I'm a revolutionary for that matter. We have to liberate ourselves from the yoke and of oppression, and all my time of 21 years I has been engaged in battles. And of course it doesn't mean every day you get to the battle, and even when I was there in the bush, we used to have a teams and play even football. I used to have football teams.
So now, Mr. President,
and as well as coach in
now,
the bush.
What triggered you now to come back to the sports?
Of course, when we came back, I was appointed as the first to establish the Directorate of Nationality, Passport and Migration. And everybody knows I established the club. And the club where I have a club with citizen club. I was having a team, a football club, and as well I was having a basketball. And from there I was the president of the club, and that club is now in the second team here. And because I'm a sport in everywhere, I was also elected unopposed by the basketball fan and basketball leadership then to lead them for that matter. And they did not interrupt me from contributing to the football. I was having a club called Black Scorpion in Kwajok as a president. Later on, that club did not went on, and then I became a president of Blue Star FC in Tonch, and lastly, even he was qualified to come and play Rafta here in Juba, and I was the president. And for that, I have not been somebody who is new to football, although I was in basketball. Meaning, if you have a club mean you have so many activities. And that's why if you have a club, you have football, you have basketball, you could have for women, for youngsters, for handball, for tennis, for any activities, for beach football, for anything. That is called club. And therefore, if you are not in football, if you are not now playing, if you are a club, you should not say. If you have a basket club, you should not say somebody has no relation with the football. So I'm not near to football. I'm a fan to football. I'm a leader to football. Before.
Thank you so much. Given your background, that detail that the future of football in South Sudan is now in your hand as the president of South Sudan Basketball Association, and people are hoping, as a president of South Sudan Football Association, as people are hoping that other good things will come out from you, and maybe you have started doing some good activities that the viewers of South Sudan's Broadcasting Corporation, SSBC, would love to know. What are the activities and your plan for your term?
Well, let me start projecting. Of course, if I want to go first to activities that I've started since I was inaugurated to the office, I have thought it is crucial for us to understand the management of football, and I have organized a workshop for the whole board of directors. For us, starting from me to other members of board of directors, to understand how do you manage football, and I thought it's crucial. So that is the first activity that I have done. Immediately I have held several activities to understand with all the staff under the Secretary General of the SSFA, and get a briefing from all to understand what is the function of each section of the departments, and acquainted myself to what they had been doing, because if you to improve, you need to understand how things was being done. And from there, we start from the workshop. We try to get into First, also, I was to receive the team coming under 23. The national team came, and of course, with the good luck that they were third, and they were awarded with the bronze, and I have to receive them with a warm and make a party for them, a sort of moral encouragement and encouragement for advice as a future for our national team. Then this show that they have perspective. I've attended several matches, including the matches for the honor to the under 23 national team play with Monarchy, and there was also a community of Tori to organize the finals here, the Loinonya and Tori. I want to encourage them because this is where we have to base. They were having peace tournament, and also in the Twitch they have also organized such. We attended, and of course we have been attended the preparation of our senior national team women who are going to Kosovo, to South Africa. They are going in September to go and attend it. I was also attending also to our team, Yei Joint Stars. They are now in Sakafa, under the organization of Sakafa Zone, which are playing for CAF qualification. And I have also to monitor. We have our team at Alabara is a champion of South Sudan, and then he went to Sakafa. We have also to see that now. Also, they will be going to Sudan to go and play with African qualifiers of the clubs, and also in terms of further, I was invited to extraordinary meeting to go and attend the Sakafa in Dar es Salaam, and of course we participate. We share some ideas, and from there I met also with the president of CAF, Mr. Marsafi, and we discuss, and bilaterally we explain and the need of South Sudan to be supported in terms of capacity building, as well other developmental projects like infrastructure, because we have just started with one infrastructure, and I raise issues of how CAF should contribute, because the FIFA donated this. We want CAF also to support the infrastructure. So, and we also asked him to come and visit us, and so that he sees things on the ground. He promised he will organize any time to come and visit that. And I came immediately. I was invited for peace tournament being organized by the governor of Western Barrel Ghazal and the Minister of Culture, Youth and Sports, and the local football association, and the president of local football association sent this extended invitation, and I attended, and we launched the peace competition in the pitch called Al Jazeera, which is a rural pitches community. So it was very exciting, and the government there was there in order to encourage the population and build peace among the community, using football as a bridge to bring our people together. And I took that opportunity, of course, being invited by the president of local football association of Kwajok to visit and open the launching of the South Sudan competition as well, because I came from that grassroots of Blue Star, which is stationed in Tonch. I have also to go and see them and see the local, the branch of Kwajoga station in Tonch, so that I give them thanks, because these were also, I start my journey as a president of club of Blue Star. So I have so many activities that so far we have done, and visiting also the stadium and seeing the stadium, and of course we'll talk about the main Juba stadiums. And dear viewers, thank you so much for joining us. If you have just joined us, you're watching the sport programs
live on SBC from the national capital, Juba. My name is Major Cholkur, and my guest right here with me is Agostino Madut Parek, the president of South Sudan Football Association. We are talking about the plans and activities of South Sudan Football Associations. And before we go for a break, let's come back and find out what is the president of South Sudan Football Association is doing right now to improve the sport in the country. What are you doing?
Well, of course, I have my manifesto, which is, my motto was football for national pride. And that is the motto that I stand, and that's the motto that the General Assembly voted for. And of course, I started to see that when you want to improve the football, you need to improve on the management. And the structure-wise, we structure ourselves and try to let everybody understand, and to let everybody understand the management and as well as the coaching, and we have to dwell on capacity building. So the pillars of the football always are in management, in coaching, in refereeing. As well, there are also other you need to consider very important support to the football, like you have media, you have to consider also to consider even health sports, you need to consider them. These are packaged, and then we are thinking of creating a center, a database for all the sports, so that information are brought from local levels into national level, and this is where you create a system which is transparent and that is effective managed, because the information and data are available to be accessed. And this how also you improve on agent can access us through so many means in order to know information and talent of our players.
Okay.
And so that they can also get professional. This is one part. Second part is to actually try to improve on competition. And to improve on competition, you need to realize, yes, we have South Sudan Cup, it is there, we have a league, and we have to introduce a Premier League. Premier League has not, it is there, but it has not been introduced, and then we have to also think of even increasing other activities, like we have to make a peace tournament, we have to make also the present tournament, we have to increase so many activities. And these activities, the intention is to let a player play more, and when it play more, then become a very strong player, and that you can, which can go and compete in a different, whether at level of continental or level of international, can improve. Because if you play 10 times or others play 40 times, 30 times for them to be really fit for that high competition.
Okay.
And also engage the public. And then we want also to introduce the state competition. Our 10 states with 3 administrative, they should compete among themselves. And these all activities with the intention to introduce a very strong, when the coach select the national team, then we'll be able, from all these activities, can produce a very capable national team.
Okay.
The other thing we are talking of in promoting the women competition, and this year you are going to witness the women league. They will be like club. If you have a salam, you will have a salam for women salam. You have in Yei, you have now Yei Joint Star, and you have here now like Atalabara. There is a team already for Atalabara, so there is all the states will start competing. This, and there will be like what has been done before, like from states they compete, but leagues women will compete.
Okay.
And then that's a promotion. We are also thinking of promoting the young footballs at grassroots level,
okay,
as well as
President,
academies.
we will come back shortly and discuss more about this. You mentioned that you need to improve, starting with the management. We find out from you what is wrong, what went wrong with the management. Is the management in South Sudan Football Association having some issues need to address? Is the managements of different clubs in South Sudan have some issues that need to be addressed, and some other issues? Thank you so much, dear viewers, for joining us, and thank you for watching and following these editions of the sport programs on SSBC. Let's have a break and we'll be right back shortly. Welcome back, dear viewers of SSBC. You're still following and watching the sport programs coming to you live on SSBC from the national capital, Juba. My name is Majur Cholkor, and my guest remained as Agostino Madut Paredes, the president of South Sudan Football Associations, as we talk about the plans and activities of South Sudan Football Associations. Once again, you're welcome back.
Thank you, Majur.
Yeah. You have been talking a lot about improving on the management, improving on the coaches and other things. What is lacking in the management, like management of South Sudan Football Association, managements of clubs in the country, maybe managements in other various fields of the football in the country? What need to be done?
Well, you know, the time of campaign has finished. We have talked about them before, about what is lacking in management, what is should be done. For me, I'm not the type of person that talk of critics of the past, you know, because the things are in my hand. So why should I be always dwelling on things that were not doing well and something of that kind? That person who was in leadership has done his part and has to pick where he stands. So I'm fourth going person. I'm seeing for the future, then try to build the management on how we can improve the football in South Sudan.
Do you think leaders that are leading the clubs, football club in South Sudan, have inability to lead the clubs?
No, I'm not sure. That's not true. I cannot say they have inability because, you know, South Sudan, we have so many challenges, especially economic challenges. And if those people voluntarily manage to form clubs and maintain them, I think these are very, what I can say, these are build selfless people. Those who are even managing the clubs are selfless people because, you know, they don't have money, and the club is not bringing any income for their activities. But yet, those who are managing clubs, the board of directors of always clubs, are doing wonders because they can, you know, voluntarily they work on bring their own money to buy this jersey for this young man, to bring, you know, they choose to cater for all necessary things for this youth, for young one. And sometimes they pay even the young one to get a transport for their team. So they had been doing very wonders. And I don't think there is inability from them. And the inability is a general situation. It's because if you cannot fund the club, you cannot be blamed for why are you not doing so, because what you have. And in some places like in Europe, a club is a business entity. Yes, it's for enjoyment, for entertainment, but yet you have your stadium. And then when people buy tickets, so if they make how much a person say to go and watch football, the spectators don't have even money to go. So we don't have a stadium itself. If, for example, Muniki play with Godeli, they are going just to play. And later on, who bring water? This is their management, bring water to them. It is the same thing. Anybody who is playing, for example, in in Abia or whether it's playing in Rang, you know, it is only the board of directors go and everybody pick money from his pocket, pay the coaches, volunteers come, coaches are not paid. Referees, sometimes the volunteers are not paid. So our footballers and those who love footballers, these are people who love their country, people who love their people, who people love the generations, and they use their legacy in order to uphold the youth into future. So I think
in your plans, do you have intended support to clubs in various clubs, be financial support or in-kind support?
Well, morally we supported them, no doubt about it. Because without them, how do you become SSFA? It's because of those clubs, those teams, and of course we have supported them. These are the team that form. These are the club form the associations, and it is very credible that they are maintaining the organizations. Second, yes, we are in support of them. Just to start support, like join stars. For them alone, they cannot manage to go to, unless SFA leadership put in a hand to get for them the tickets. Yes, they have done part of this, but we have to do much to let them go and compete. Of course, club is the responsibility of a club. A team is a responsibility. But we see if we don't put hand, they will not go and compete. That represents South Sudan in Sakafa. Again, like Talabara. Yes, it's a big club. He's doing wonders. They have good management. They have good support. But yet, they cannot do it alone. We have to put our hand. We have a moral support. We have sometimes joined them in contributing to what the small thing that they have to go and compete. So whoever that will come and represent South Sudan at that level to Sakafa, to Africa, and to the world, whether this men team or women champion will be there for them, and will be there for them to support them to make sure they go and compete. And of course, we cannot support any club that.
Yes, and this is where I'm coming.
We cannot support
There's some clubs, Mr. President. There's some clubs who have registered, and I believe the reason for them registering. What is the reason? Is it not because for South Sudan Football Association to support them, either be in kind or financially?
We have different levels of this. A club is a private entity. It's like you registered your own business. But we are independent. We have this structure. We have South Sudan Football Association, which represents things at national level. The local football association, of which I don't see what is local, but they are named like that, local football association. They are responsible for their clubs in their own jurisdiction. For example, like Juba Local Football Association is responsible for all 61 clubs in Juba. They have 61 registered clubs, and they have more women coming. So they are the one responsible for them, and the club is the board of directors is responsible for it.
But if they request from you, they can do?
Of course, because how many clubs do we have? There are so many. But as for us, if we get balls, for example, we get balls or we get net or training materials, we give it to local football association. We assist them in this. We are responsible for training coaches, training referees, training football managers. These are our responsibility, and this is a kind of technical support that we give them. Second, we give them another guideline in terms of what is required by the FIFA, what is required by the CAF, and what is required by the SACAFA, and what is required by the South Sudan Football Association as a rule of games to be more effective and more disciplined. So we have guidelines towards them, and therefore we will support them training coaches and training referees and training managers of the clubs. Then materially we are supporting them, and technically we are supporting them. Leave alone, we will not be able to cover anything. If we get balls in any way, or we get balls, we also send to local football association. And there are some support that I will not be, is because it's an obligation towards SSFF to support. But it's something that is not enough for them to cater for anything. But it's for them at least to give a support, a material support to them in any kind, because we have less also resources to do that. At the same time, the local football association is supposed to also to be a responsibility of Minister of Youth and Sports and the government of that state to support them. Like we now, if we have a national team, we all run to the government, to national government, and we send our own budget to Minister of Youth and Sports, and it is a responsibility of national government to cater for national team. Whether they manage to do it or not, that is the responsibility. So the jurisdiction is divided. It's divided. The local football association is supposed to be taken care by using financial support by the governor and his government. For a national level, for national team, who is responsible is the government of national unity. And therefore, for that, and those who with the county should take care. For us, we provide a technical help, organizations.
Since the time is not favoring us, let me just come to this side of the national team. What is lacking in national team?
The national team are lacking resources. We can build a very strong national team, but there's no resources. The resources can be divided into two: financial resources and infrastructure problem. Because your national team here, even they don't have one bus to just take them to the airport when they are leaving. You have to go to the market and hire, matatu or whatever, imatong to take them there.
Okay.
But this, I say, financial resources. When I talk of infrastructure, somebody playing in, where there's no artificial turf, and you think is going to compete. Our players, they don't have gym. They cannot. The food that they eat, they can go and eat with us, full Sudani. We just eat, because to upgrade them, you need to work on them. Sometimes they don't have work to maintain them, so that they maintain their engagement become only a football. And therefore, when they comes, we have nothing to do with them. Then they go and look for their job. Job may be a very exhausted job. It's not concentrating to football, and that's why I define and summarize the issue of resources, which is financial resources, to the SSFA to take care of national team. National team are different. They're senior and the 23 and the 21, and name them 20 or 19 and 17. These are, you need always to be built on them, take care of them, have a right good place for them, facilities and all this, and this can improve from. But if you don't have finance, nothing will cut off for them. You will have something to let them go and compete and come back with any results. And infrastructure, we have like now in Wow or in Malakal. Now they are not playing because there is water all in the pitch. You go to Bor, you go to Bantiu, where there is flat. Where are they playing? They stay, and then when you won a national team, somebody play there, you say to go and compete and play with Nigerians and Cameroon. You can see standard. So these are the main challenges that if we improve, South Sudan will be in a different capacity of competition. We have that physical ability and talent that we have to compete.
Thank you so much, President. Let me hope this will not be your last time to make it to the sport studio of SLBC.
You forget the studio.
We will exhaust more.
The stadium is not part of you.
Yeah, we will exhaust more in future. And as per now, before I let you go, what could be your last message to the sport lovers in the country, and as you raise their hope? And let me hope, raising their hope is through what you will say and you implement.
Well, what I would like to end my interview, first of all, I would like to tell all the football lovers and all our people the fun of the football and all the managers of the football, and all the leadership of the football in the country. Me, myself, I will work together with you in order to take football to a different level. What I have said, these are things that I identify, and then I think we'll work together with our government, and our government will be supportive in order to improve on these things, and also sending message to private sector, because private sector, is that there's a solution to all so many problems. If the private sector are doing their social corporate responsibility, private sector are supporting their youth and their young one, then we can improve. Government alone cannot be able to do everything. So I'm urging the private sector to come in, whether international or local private sector, and our Chamber of Commerce to urge people, to urge the private sector to invest in sports. This is what I can say. Otherwise, I thank the SSBC team for this interview, and I wish we work together, and our football and our players will make us proud in the nearest future. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much, dear viewers of the sport programs on SLBC. This week, on our edition of the sport program, we have been talking about the plans and activities of South Sudan Football Associations. And with me was the president of South Sudan Football Association, Mr. Madut Parex. And I've been your host, Majur Cholkur. For me and the team in the studio, we do say thank you so much for following us, and continue to join us again next week for another editions of the sport programs on SLBC. Have a lovely time.
Thank you.
Thank you.